Well, hot dog.
Hi, y'all. Oh, I'm trying to organize my French fries to make them look pretty.
So, yeah, I was looking at like the combination of what we had for food today. I'm like, where do we ever come up with this idea?
That was your idea this time.
Was it? This was like the weirdest combination of food and drink I think we've ever done.
True story. As I made Franken beans yesterday, I was told I don't want any. It's reminded me of my childhood, and I said I tried to adult it up, and it's like kind of hard to adult up any weenies, So,
Yeah, I didn't even taste mine to see if they're all right yet. Oh, they're still warm.
So, and of course, I had to do one more thing because I'm like, what goes with Franken beans? And I'm like, Franken beans to me is a side. It's not a main dish. So I made this delicious chicken. So I had to add chicken to my.
Well, yeah. See, this podcast usually for me is kind of like a snack before dinner. So it's like the appetizer before we have dinner because Gwen comes home and we have dinner usually after, right?
Right.
So it's like I have a habit of like last week, like I ate that whole damn chicken, that whole half a chicken last week on the podcast, and then went down to my brother-in-law's. We were having fourth meal, and they had like ribs and burgers and brats, and I was full.
You're like, I'm really not that hungry.
I'm not that hungry now. I ate on my podcast. Anyway.
So
beans in a dish, Robert says. Yes, Robert, today's podcast is brought to you by Franken Beans.
So what I did with mine is that I did a little more than just Franken beans. This is kind of exciting. So I went to 7-Eleven to pick up Slurpee.
Yeah.
Small Slurpee today, free at 7-Eleven. So I had gone to the Pina Colada and the Wild Cherry. And so I plug in the rewards number and they said, okay, you're all set. And I was like, wait, what? I thought rewards points had been used. They're like, no, today being 7/10, small Slurpee free. Tomorrow, larger Slurpee for free. So, and small was perfect. I didn't need anything bigger than a small because
I should have went to the 7-Eleven down the road because he told me it wasn't working. I'm like, really?
Well, I tried calling them.
Slurpee day.
They wouldn't answer. So I was like, I'm just going to go down there, which I did. And then I was going to call the Black Bear Diner, which is right across the street, so that I could have the French fries ordered and ready to go by the time I got back. Well, I didn't do that. So as I'm getting things ready, I'm trying to call them. So I'm like, at last they answered. So I put in the order and she figured it was for me. She didn't even take my name down. She just figured it was for me. So I get there and they're like, okay, do you want any napkins? I was like, nope, just, and they did give me ranch. I did ask for ranch. I didn't want any ketchup because I already had the Franken beans. I'm like, I already have the other stuff. So I had to do that. But one trick that I learned that I have to share for the chicken, when you are oven baking a chicken and you want that crispiness, put egg white, brush it with the egg white, and it just becomes this deliciously crispy, beautiful skin.
Wow.
With egg white. Yep. So I had marinated, done my thing, salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, and then I tried to get in between the skin and then just washed the top of it with egg white. And it was deliciously crunchy. Today, not as crunchy because I threw it in the microwave to heat it up, and then for my beans, what I did is that I got some olive oil, and then I chopped up an onion very finely, a yellow onion, and then caramelized that. I added seasonings to it. I added, what else did I add to it? Because I added a can of the Bush's original with pieces of bacon in it because, I wanted some pork in there. So I did that. I added brown sugar. And there is one other thing that will come to me of what else I added. And then I mixed everything together. Oh, and then the Franks, they're from Hills something or other. They're a local sausage maker that's in Bend. So, of course, had to do the Oregon thing. And they already came sliced up. So I browned those a little bit before I threw those in there. And then it was supposed to be thrown in the oven once everything is mixed. I'm like, I don't have time for oven. That's way too hot. So I just simmered on in the pot for 40 minutes or so. It came out so darn good. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is really good. I didn't put as much of the brown sugar as it was all recipe that I got the idea. It called for more brown sugar, and I said no because there's already a sweetness in the baked beans. So I said I don't want to overdo it because then I won't like it. So a little bit of the I also added a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Ooh.
A little bit of cayenne pepper just to give it a little something, something, but not a whole lot to make it spicy because I didn't want spicy.
Uh-huh.
So, and then the fries. Thank you, Black Bear Diner, for my fries.
No. I got the what do they call them? The crinkle cut fries.
The crinkly. I love crinkly cut. Let me see if I can find what all recipes said. Celery salt. It called for celery salt and prepared mustard. That's the other thing, prepared mustard. So onions, the baked beans, the frankfurters, brown sugar, prepared mustard, and celery salt.
Okay.
So thank you all.
Here's one thing I want to know is we had Pina Colada on the list. Did you find Pina Colada mix?
I did. Pina Colada.
Yeah.
Slurpee.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have Slurpee, but anyway. But I have went and found mix. Thank you to the guy over here at Little Elm Liquor. All right. Adam over there has been good at hooking me up with some stuff over the past few weeks. And of course, I got some rum. But I did I'm not going to do the blender one. I'm going to do the crushed ice.
Oh, nice. So Matico is what I have here for my rum. And there's my spoon. I got 2 spoons. I was just excited to know that it was a free Slurpee day today. It was like perfect timing. We didn't actually plan that.
Yeah, we planned it around, I think this was like planned around what holidays or what national days is why we did this today. All right. In honor of our friend Cindy, who gives us the calendar.
Right. Thank you.
She thinks we never look at it.
Right.
Cindy, I told you we look at it.
We do. We promise.
No.
We just don't always follow it.
Yes.
That's a little too much. Well, if you go to I haven't been to a Sandoz resort in 20 years. Man, I'm aging myself. But they have a slushy machine and a pina colada, and then they just add the rum to it.
Yeah.
So, and I had to get my little sippy cup with the straw because I wanted to use the straw because I thought that would be a fun straw to drink this. But did you know that the Slurpee machine was invented back in 1950?
50?
So 1950. So Omar Kendlick, he invented the machine to make frozen beverages in the late 1950s. Well, the slushy drink came into play when the soda fountain machine broke down, and so it forced them to put the machine in the freezer. And because it wasn't cold enough, it got slushy, and so that's where the slushy came from. Original.
Interesting.
Yes. So that was kind of fun to find out. I was going, oh my goodness, that is so cool because me, I like to know where things come from. But it was introduced into 7-Eleven in 1966.
Oh, I thought Slurpee machine turned into margarita machine at your local bar. Because we went to a taco place over the weekend, Fuzzy's Tacos, which we've had it premiered on the show before. But we have one here in Little Elm, but it also has a bar as part of it. So basically, we go over, we order our tacos, and the young girl says, well, you've got to go over to the bar to order your drinks. I'm like, why? Is it 2 separate businesses? She goes, no, I'm under 18. I can't serve them to you. I'm like, oh, okay. She says, but if you go over there, they're having $2 margaritas today. Oh. So I get frozen one, and Gwen gets iced shaken one, right? With ice.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. I wish that I got the one Gwen got because the frozen one, every time I tried to suck on it, I had brain freeze.
Of course.
So that's why I chose to do my Pina Colada today with shaking it with ice.
There you go.
Oh, nothing beats the taste of rum in the afternoon.
Although there is another, the frozen margarita machine that was by Dallas restaurant owner Mariano Martinez. He's the one that came up with the frozen margarita machine.
What's the difference between the margarita machine and the Slurpee machine?
I think the margarita machine has tequila in it already. Slurpees have no alcohol. They are very popular. It was part of I did a scavenger hunt years ago in downtown Portland, and there's only one Slurpee machine within like a 20-mile radius of there, or at least 18, because from Portland to here it's 18 miles. And so they gave you the clue, and we're trying to figure it out. And it's like all of a sudden somebody said, "Duh, a Slurpee! Is there a 7-Eleven out here?" And sure enough, it was the Slurpee. So the only thing is that my Pina Colada did. This is truly a Slurpee. It is a slushy, so it is a little bit more watery. If you
and once it's watery and you add the alcohol to it, it's gonna water it even more. So
yeah, what I noticed because I hadn't had a Slurpee in forever and a day, but as you start to pour it, it's like liquid, and then it gets into that slush.
Yeah.
So, did you have Franken beans growing up? Was that a thing in your household?
Yes, I did.
See, that was.
I remember, yes, and I remember meals. Franken beans were the meal.
Mm.
No.
So I feel like it's separated, but it is separated.
But I'll bet you if you shake or stir it around, I bet you it makes. I don't think it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's slushy down there. It's not like all rum at the bottom and slushy at the top. It's just melted.
Mine looks all the way through.
Yeah.
Because of the way I did it. So the French fries, though, we have today. French fries. All right, you go into a restaurant, you get a hamburger. Do you always get French fries?
No. If I go to Red Robin, what I normally do is I get a salad instead of fries.
Okay.
But if somebody else gets fries, I want a couple of fries. That's it. I'm okay without the fries. And sometimes what I'll do is that I'll get the protein style burger where it's wrapped in lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but maybe half the time, 50-50, depends on my mood. I'll get it lettuce wrapped, and then I'll get the salad. And the salad is all you can eat, just like the fries.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've seen the episode of Big Bang Theory where
Possibly.
Sheldon and Penny, they're not dating, but they decide to go out to do something as friends. The end of the night, they stop at a restaurant and they have drinks and, something to eat. And Leonard says, "Well, would you like me to get you? I'm going to get French fries. Would you like me to get you some? Because you always say you never want any, and then you pick the ones off my plate." And Penny says, "Oh, no, I only take the crispy ones that you put to the side." And he goes, "I put them to the side because I want to eat them last."
I like crispy fries.
Well, that's why I did mine in the oven, and they really are crispy.
And I do like to leave what I like to the last.
Yes.
It's like if I like this, that's going to be the last thing I eat because I want the last few bites to be just the best. So, Pina Colada and fries, I like. Pina Colada and Franken beans, I like.
Okay. So basically, we're doing a lot of things this week off of what days are. If you've not looked at a national calendar day, So Cindy, who's usually in the comments, I don't know if she's around tonight. Cindy's usually in the comments. Cindy turned us on to this, and she said it was like a year or so ago in the show. We were making one drink, all right, when it was Another Drinks National Day.
Yeah, I know.
She actually informed us of that, and she said, "I'll send you calendars so you guys can plan it out." And we glance at it every now and then, but we normally don't plan because we plan things out in a pattern of 3 or 4 by 3 or 4 weeks.
Right. Sometimes we do a month and a half out.
Yeah.
We truly do.
This one, because this was like the finish up of our planning, I think we planned this up like right after you got back from your cruise. Well, this is as far as we planned out.
Yeah. So we planned out the rest of May. We had
June and July.
We had the very first day after I got back. That one was planned out, no problem.
Yeah.
Because we made sure that it was planned, so I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And so that was great. But then we didn't plan beyond that, and we're like, oh, we should plan one more week. And then we planned the rest of May, all of June, and into July. Oh my goodness.
I know. I have my sheet here where I neatly wrote it out, and this is the last one that I have to cross out. This is the last 2 weeks. This is the sheet from before that. But anyway.
Wild cherry is still my favorite. They had
what alcohol did you put in with it? The rum?
Rum. Yeah, I put rum in both of them. They had Coca-Cola. They had a strawberry something or other, and then they had a white peach. Mm-hmm. But I went with Pina Colada, and then of course I had to go with wild cherry because I've always liked the wild cherry.
I know. I got cherry licorice. I pick it up at the farm store when I go up because I love cherry licorice. Yeah. Mom was starting to cook out here, strawberry rhubarb. I think she's turning it into jam instead of a freaking pie. I'm like, Anyway.
Or make you a little one.
Yeah.
The cherry does not go as well with the frankenbeans because the sweetness of the frankenbeans clashes with the wild cherry.
Yeah.
The wild cherry is not, I think that's why I like it. It's not overly sweet. And it just clashes in my opinion. So fry.
So some of the days that we did this around, there was a frankenbeans day. There was a Pina Colada day in this week. There was a Slurpee day, and there was a French fry day. And we put them all together to actually put all of them on there. And I didn't get the Slurpee because the Slurpee machine was out. I should have went to the other 7-Eleven, brought it home, and stuck it in the freezer. Is what I should have done. Anyway, so we planned all these out, all right, based on what days they were. And it's just interesting that it's an interesting combination to all put together at one time. But all 4 of them are foods that I love. I don't eat them all on a regular basis. I hardly ever eat frankenbeans anymore. If I'm getting Mexican food, I'm getting refried beans.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've done vegetarian baked beans. It's been a while, but I do like them.
Do you?
But I don't know that I've ever made frankenbeans. It was not a staple growing up. We always had, for the most part, pinto beans, once in a while black beans, but for the most part, it was pinto beans because pinto beans were easy to come by. And so, we always made a big pot, and they were made fresh. So it's the picking of the beans, the cleaning of the beans, and the cleaning of them, and the cleaning of them. They need a lot of washing constantly and getting off because we would get it in bulk. So there was little rocks in there and all sorts of other whatever was in there, and we had to clean them. That was a process, and then you had to soak them before you made them. So it was a process to make beans, but we always had beans and rice. We always had and veggies. We would go to the what would be a farmer's market, but it was an indoor farmer's market in downtown LA. That back then you could get 10 pounds of tomatoes for $1.
Wow.
You're getting 5 pounds for 50 cents. You're getting everything we got was like it was very inexpensive. We would get pita breads and we get the ham and the cheese. So then we would, I mean, a lettuce head was 10 cents, 20 cents if you were spending a lot. And then the tomatoes, again, 10 pounds of tomatoes for $1.
I know. I just bought seeds for lettuce, and the seeds were $4.
Oh, right. And the last time I went to it's called the Grand Central Market.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of downtown LA. Part of it had been closed. Another part, it's now a lot smaller. And the one area that was, because this one whole side of the building was all meat. So all the meats and cheeses, it was just, there was no longer any meat or cheese in there. They had artisanal goods that were being sold there. And then the bread area had gotten smaller. And then the post of the fruits and vegetables had also a lot less of them. So it has changed dramatically. And of course, the price of everything has gone up. I haven't been there since pre-COVID, but it's to remember when I was a kid taking the bus to downtown LA to go to the Grand Central Market to get all the stuff, fill it into our little cart, one of those little carts that the
Like little grandma carts for shopping. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So we'd always get all the heavy stuff first, so because that would go at the bottom of the cart, and then all the softer things on top, and any bread we would carry in a separate bag. So we were using bags, like reusable bags, before they were a thing, way back when, that my mom had made for us to easily carry all the stuff. And then of course between my aunt and I, we carry it into the bus, and we're shimmying it, and then we put it between both of us. And so we were sitting, it was my cousin, my aunt, myself, and then the little cart. And so we make room for all four of us in this one little space on the bus. And we'd have to take at least 2 buses, sometimes 3 to get home, just depending on which bus was the first one that we caught in downtown. It would go one direction and then we'd catch another one. But every so often we'd catch the different one because we knew that the next one, we had the schedule down. So then we would just take the other one, and then it was 2 other stops. And of course you get the transfer, they take the bottom section so you can transfer to 2 buses from the one bus for an extra 10 cents or whatever it was.
Wow.
Yeah, the memories that this brought home, it really did.
It's interesting because, like, as a kid, I never rode on buses. I was an adult before I rode on a bus.
Okay.
I literally grew up in small town country.
So you got your bike everywhere?
Yeah. I remember buying my first 12-speed bike, right? And having to ride it everywhere. And I remember because a lot of our areas where we were at in southern Pennsylvania were this.
Mm.
There was no, like Dallas, everything's like this. And there's in-grades, downgrades in Dallas. I say in-grades in Dallas, downgrade in Dallas.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in-grade, downgrade. Yeah. Love them downgrades, but boy, in Pennsylvania, them upgrades really could kill you.
Oh, we lived up on a hill in East LA, and going, we'd have to pull that cart up the hill in the snow, barefoot, both ways. No, but truly, it was a lot of work to get up that hill, especially during the summer. But yeah, we took the bus everywhere. We knew all the, where all the bus stops were. We knew the time, and they were like spot on the time. Maybe give or take a minute, but for the most part, they were like right on. And you better hustle, because if you don't make that one bus, it's a half hour before the next one. Others it's every 10 minutes, just depending on which flow of
I was just saying, what kind of food did you have that would any of it spoil if you had to wait that long?
Most of them, we didn't usually buy meat. It was all produce and bread. Yeah. That's what we bought there. Once in a great while, we might buy something, but usually the meat was bought at the supermarket. It was just the produce, because 10 pounds for $1 of tomato, you couldn't get that at the supermarket. So produce and bread purchased at the Grand Central Market.
Okay.
So no, we didn't have to worry about that. Okay. And then everything else was bought at the supermarket. And then for that, we would go with my mom, and my mom would drive us. But during the day when we're getting all this stuff, it was just, my aunt didn't drive. So, and I was I was a kid, so I didn't drive. But one of the other things that we used to do, we would go down to what is now Cesar Chavez Boulevard, and so for us, it will always be Brooklyn. That was the street, it was Brooklyn. And there was this one area where there was three different pharmacies.
Cheers, Rich, with cousin Rich.
Um, the you can't cheer and you can't cheers and not take a drink.
Sure.
And so there was three different pharmacies. At the pharmacies, they had slushies, not Slurpees.
Yeah, yeah.
And so each one had their own price and each one had their own flavors. And so my cousin and I, we would check the price and the flavors and then go to the one that had the better price with the flavors we liked. And if we absolutely wanted the other flavor, then we would, or the specific flavor, then we would spend the extra 10 cents. But usually we just went to which was cheaper because they were constantly changing their prices. 90
But-
cents, 95 cents, 99 cents.
Yeah. Did they mix it up in the machine, or did they mix the snow cone and then put the flavoring into it and stir it
No, it was like a Slurpee where you actually
in the machine
Yeah,
and you pull the handle?
yeah, we wouldn't do it. They would do it, and we would just pick the flavor, and they would just pull with this one, it was pull the handle,
Yeah.
Whereas I think theirs was pull the lever, not the handle. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would get, and they were small. They were smaller than this.
Oh.
They were probably, they were skinnier, I should say. They were
Yeah.
as small, but skinnier. And then it was like, we'd come out with our little slushy. Good times. Good times. I know.
Because I remember I was in places like in Jersey and stuff like that where they'd had the slushy, but you would get the slushy, but then they would literally it was the plain stuff they would put in there, plain ice, and then they would put the flavor on top of it.
Okay.
All right, and then in the cup,
Okay.
and then they stir it,
Yeah.
and it would be magically connected.
Well, see, what we would get is, of course, we were in East LA, so we would get the paleteros and we would get, the ice cream trucks, but we would also get the guys that would have the raspados. So what this was is he would have this huge block of ice covered with the towel, and then he would come around with his little bells, and we would come out. So then he had this hand scraper. He would scrape the ice, put it into a cone. It was literally a cone, and scrape it until we had the cone, and then we got the flavor that we wanted. So sometimes we would have one flavor, and other times we'd have three flavors. But he put the flavor into the ice. It was like a Snoopy snow cone machine, only.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had this metal thing that had the scraper, and then it would go into this little back section, and then when he would turn it, the little flap would open, and it would go into the cone. And then he'd flavor it for us, and 25 cents, for shaved ice. Which now, what's a shaved ice? $5.
I got to be $5. So,
Yeah.
so, but let's talk about when was the first time you had a pina colada?
The first time I remember, and I may have had it before this, but it was at a Sandals resort in Jamaica, in Ocho Rios. So they had the machine at the swim up bar. They pour it into the container because it wasn't a glass, it was plastic, and then they put the rum in there, and they put the slice of pineapple and your straw, and here you go.
Wow.
That's the first time I remember. That was yummy. When you have a hot day in the pool, it's pina coladas all day, every day.
So I was noticing this on the top of the bottle of mixer I have. It has a QR code.
Okay.
You see it?
Uh-huh. YouTube.
So I got to try it while we're on here to see.
Ooh, they must have recipes. So while you look that up, I will say thank you very much, 7-Eleven, for free Slurpee on July 10th.
Yeah.
Leading up to your 7-Eleven, they had a ton of stuff for $1. So they had chips, they had M&Ms. They had all sorts of different snacks as you walked in for $1.
So what this takes you to is a playlist
Oh,
of making drinks. Hey, that's what we should do.
we should have a playlist.
We should have a playlist of our videos that make drinks.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
So, do they have many? I'm sure they have music and well choreographed there.
I'll hit the play button on it and see how loud it is. I gotta hear the ad first.
I usually get, are you a busy businesswoman that has no time for blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
I gave up my 6-figure career.
Cocktail with 2 ounces. Let's do 2 ounces. 2 ounces of white rum today.
It sounds a little corny. We have 2 ounces of this and we have 2 ounces of that.
Yeah. Exactly. So, anyway, it goes to the videos on YouTube, but yeah.
I haven't even touched my chicken. Look how beautiful that
Eat
chicken
your chicken, girl. I finished my French fries. Come on. They're French fries.
I have a big old, oh my goodness. I got a big old thing of French fries. I only pulled a few off. I have a few more on here.
I know. I made a whole. I had a bag of them. I just made, you know what I mean, a handful out of the bag. So
What I should have done is just swung by Burger King or McDonald's. You know, the only thing with McDonald's fries, as much as I like them, once they get cold,
they suck.
Yeah. Whereas Burger King and Wendy's fries, they usually handle getting them cold. And these are, you know, made fresh there. I mean, they still have the skin on them. Look at that. That skin, you know, so.
Best fries to get, all right, truthfully. All right, because they're fresh cut and fresh made.
In and out.
In and out. In and out burgers, the best fries. All right. There's other people who do the fresh fry thing, but their fries aren't as crispy as In and Out's. In and Out makes them in a way that they're still crispy. I think I've gotten Five Guys. I think Five Guys does the same thing, but Five Guys are always soft. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they oil it so much that they don't crisp. I like a crispy fry.
Yeah.
So,
I'm underwhelmed by Five Guys. People love Five Guys. Sorry. I'm underwhelmed by them.
my favorite burger used to be Smash Burger, but they don't make them like they used to. We went to one. We found one here up in Prosper, Texas. We went to it one night and just were so highly disappointed over all the years of liking it and getting burgers. Like, we used to get it in the San Jose airport, San Jose in California.
Okay.
I had a Smash Burger, and I used to love going to that airport. It's where my brother lives. Like, no, I'm gonna go to the airport early. Why? I'm getting me a Smash Burger.
There you go.
You know. But
Are you not making them the same either? They're at the airport.
They don't. I haven't been to the San Jose airport then since before the pandemic. But most of the here, all the Smash Burgers went away. Mm-hmm. Like it was like in a year and a half's time. Poof! They all up and disappeared.
Wow. Well, we have what I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard great things of Fuller Burger out here.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, you know, very basic menu similar to Five Guys. Mm-hmm. And I've heard great things about their burgers. I haven't tried them yet. But there's the full burger and the Fuller Burger, you know, so they got the small, medium, large or whatever, and fries. Very basic. And, you know, that's all they do. So I'm like, I will check them out. I found them for the first time because they've been opening up a few more. But one was by the airport because I was in the area. And it's in the shopping strip. And I went, oh, there's the Fuller Burger. Now I know where it's at. I still didn't go in. I didn't have time. I was there for a specific reason, and I laughed.
I still have yet to try. All right. And see if our listeners can say where this comes from. I want to try the Big Kahuna Burger.
Big Kahuna. Why does that sound familiar? It sounds like a seafood place.
Nope. Nope.
Not in Hawaii?
Nope. These are tasty burgers, Jimmy. Imagine if I take some of your beverage here to wash down this tastiness.
Not a clue.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh my
Samuel
goodness.
Jackson.
It's been that long since I've seen that movie. I saw it once a long, long time ago in a Planet Fitness.
Big Kahuna Burger. Oh man, mind if I taste one of your burgers? I'm gonna kill you anyway. I might as well eat your food.
Right.
That's what I want to say because I've seen it so many times.
I've not seen it in forever and a day. It's been a while.
Oh, that was a good movie. So anyway, Big Kahuna Burger, but then the Big Lebowski had, I think it's the In-N-Out. They mentioned the In-N-Out Burger in there.
Mm.
All right. The guy lives on whatever street it is. It's over by the In-N-Out Burger.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
I haven't seen actually, I think I saw the Big Lebowski last year again.
I watch that thing at least 4 times a year. Come on. It is Jeff Bridges' best role, period. Well, that and Tron.
Mm.
That's where I like Jeff Bridges. That and Tron are my favorites. So he was in this series last year we watched called The Old Man.
The Old Man?
Yeah, and it did well, they said they were going to renew it for season 2, but with the writer's strike, they apparently hasn't come through yet. But anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this is an interesting combination of food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I get the pina colada mix, but yet I still added some of the pineapple juice to it. But I didn't have any pieces of pineapple to put my accent. That's usually every recipe said have a slice of pineapple for your accent onto it. So
yeah, most definitely. I had bought. I still have the little cups. So what I did was I spent more, which I normally don't do. I normally like to get the Dole whole rings, and then if I need to cut them up, I cut them up. But this time I bought the Dole or the Del Monte individual little cups. So I have 3 more cups left with pineapple and the pineapple juice, and it's true pineapple juice. It's not the syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I have pineapple juice in the house. I don't drink orange juice all that much, but when I need vitamin C, pineapple juice is the one thing. I'll down a can of pineapple juice real quick, all right, and it gives me that kick of vitamin C I need, right? When I can tell different vitamins when my body's lacking them, and I know what to do to get that vitamin into my body quick. And vitamin C is one that I use pineapple juice all the time to do it. So.
Okay, so one of the things that I will say is that when you drink a Slurpee, like drink, it's one thing, but when you sip it out of a straw, it's a different feel. It's colder. It's got this little bite that gets you that once they hit your brain, give you a brain freeze. But a Slurpee definitely needs to be slurped through a straw, and a fun straw at that.
Yes.
And the cherry went well with my chicken.
I can imagine cherry and chicken. I always cook my barbecue stuff on cherry wood, which is what I was trying to cook last week's chicken on. So, yeah.
So I'm like, but I'm really liking the pina colada. This one's pretty good. It goes well with my French fries. It goes very well with my Franken beans. The cherry, it's delicious. Still my favorite.
Yep.
Goes well with my chicken, but does not go well with my Franken beans.
Wait a minute. When we think of these Slurpees, all right, we never thought about this. I mean, getting a Slurpee and adding some alcohol to it. What other alcohols do you think? Do you think tequila?
The tequila would go well with the cherry.
Yeah, not with the pina colada one. Yeah.
And then a dark rum with the Coca-Cola one.
Yeah.
Not just your regular light rum. This is
no, dark rum. Yeah.
Yeah, you want a spiced rum.
Mm-hmm.
Spiced rum and Coca-Cola, that would go well.
Yeah.
You know, like a rum and Coke, but instead of a light rum, you're doing.
I was thinking like well, we have down here. They have some of them with 7-Elevens have the Dr. Pepper one. I would think the Dr. Pepper one and some bourbon.
Mm.
Yeah. So. Then again, I'm a bourbon guy. What can I say? But
I like my brown liquors too.
yeah, they are so good. So anyway, interesting taste test this week. All right, I didn't really have a lot of substance to what I did because it was all small foods, and I ate them all right away because I was hungry. I was starving.
I did eat a little bit of chicken earlier today, so I wasn't completely starving, but I was hungry. Um, but I had only tried the frankenbeans. I hadn't eaten them.
Yeah,
Like, but that was kind of fun to do that.
yeah,
Super easy to make. And I like that I added the additional ingredients, that I used local ingredients to add to it. That way it felt like it was beef cooked and not just slapped together and, out of a can.
hmm Which mine is kind of slapped together out of a can, but still, it's good. Oh, I still like it. So,
The vegetarian baked beans from Bush's,
hmm
I will heat that up and eat it as a side with whatever I'm eating. I haven't done it in a while, but it's just good flavor, and that's one that I'm like, I have no issues eating out of the can. But with this one, I wanted to do something.
yeah.
Wasn't sure what, but I knew that I wanted to do something. So
Mm. Well, life's good when you get to mix up foods and try them and drink on a podcast.
yes, that's always good. Never a bad day for that. Never mad at that.
No, always a good day when you get to do that. So, anyway, so which restaurant did you get the fries from?
Black Bear Diner right across the street.
Okay, that's the diner you've used before.
Mm-hmm. It's local. The owner, I know the owner. She's part of the Rotary Club. We meet there now since June 1st, or since the first week of June. My Rotary Club started to meet there. Her parents own 2 Black Bear Diners in Southern Oregon, and the Rotary Clubs meet at those Black Bear Diners. So it was just fitting that our Rotary Club here also meets at hers. So now all of those 3. And there's a couple.
And that's right across the street from your office, right?
Yep.
So convenient to run right across the street for Rotary now, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because I have to be there early because I'm now the president of my Rotary Club of Wilsonville. So
Wait a minute, why didn't you tell me that? When did this happen?
July 1st officially, and then had my first board meeting today. And then Thursday I'll be doing the welcome presentation to my club. So I was working on my speech earlier today. What information do I want to share? What goals do I want to bring up? And just kind of get everybody excited for the year. So we had our induction ceremony last Thursday, where Kyle Bunch, he's the owner of Goosehead Insurance here in Wilsonville. He was the outgoing president, and then I was the incoming president. So it was good times.
Good deal. I like it.
Add one more thing to my plate because I'm,
Because you ain't doing enough, girl. I'm kicking things off my plate right now because I don't want to do them anymore.
Right. There's a couple of things I'm trying to see. How do I not do this anymore? So I got a couple of boards that I'm going to see if I can get off between October and February. It's a lot.
I have one more thing that I will be kicking off before the end of the year.
And what's that?
I'm not saying it live on a broadcast because I don't want the people who I'm involved with to find out this way.
At least not this way. You're gonna.
Yeah, that's not cool to make them find out this way.
That's a good conversation to have.
You and I'll have that later, and I'll tell you. But,
yeah,
wait a minute. As opposed to I could go like, well, it's this podcast. I'm done. No, I'm kidding. That's it. Yeah. So no. We watched the last episode of Frasier last night. Now Gwen and I started binge watching TV shows. To number one, I do it to limit our TV time. Number 2, it's like, you know what I mean? So you watch 2 to 3 shows a night. That's the only time you're sitting in front of a TV. You're not wasting a weekend in front of the TV.
Okay.
And we made it all the way through 11 seasons of Frasier. And last night we did we had 4 more left and we did all 4. Right. Okay. And the last one, he's like, and he's announcing, okay, I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving Seattle and I'm moving. I'm like, nothing like telling everybody, yep. So, hey, I'm out of here. Bye.
That's a nice way to, very gentle way of saying I'm out of here. It's I'm moving.
Yeah. So anyway, so no, I wouldn't do that to you. You and I would have a long discussion before I ever thought about ending this podcast.
We're having so much fun.
Yes. No.
No, good times. I really like this pina colada. It was very refreshing.
Yeah.
Easy.
And I actually did mine with 2 ounces of rum, like the guy suggested.
Okay. Mine only had about an ounce, and I put a little bit less in the cherry.
Yeah.
But the pina
You know what
colada,
I think would go well with that cherry?
what's that?
I'll bet you anything. It's going to be sweet, all right, but Sambuca.
Oh, I think I might still have some at home.
That would be an interesting with the cherry.
But you definitely have to slurp it out of a straw.
Yeah, that's why. So that's what I was doing with the margarita on Saturday. I was doing like this instead of a straw. Yeah, I go ooh. I had finished half the glass, so yeah.
No, I really like this. So, yeah, Slurpees are still the best. I hadn't had one in a long time since that time that we did that scavenger hunt, which was pre-COVID. And I have a 7-Eleven that's down the street here, just cross the, I have to cross the freeway and it's right there. But I hadn't gone into that one in forever and a day, but I like the Slurpee. And I like a free Slurpee even better. So thank you, 7-Eleven. Shout out to 7-Eleven.
Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to figure out the days we did this. So today is National Pina Colada Day, as well as National Kitten Day. Just saying. Meow. Okay, let's see because there's a way I can advance this to the next day. See what tomorrow's days are.
I did freak somebody out the other day because I had a kitty meowing. And it's like, did a cat get into here? And it was just the funniest thing.
Yeah. Tomorrow is National 7-Eleven Day.
Yeah, so tomorrow there will be free a larger 7-Eleven Slurpee, but I don't know the size. But I was told that it was free tomorrow. Today was the small. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe a medium or a large.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for the kitties here that were crying. That freaked somebody out. Going, what's that? Is there a cat that escaped that got in here? I know I have it because they're baby kitties. They're there. Let's see if they're loud enough here.
So I'm trying to get all the way back as far as
This one.
it wasn't National Slurpee Day, is why we did this. Aww.
Little kitties that they were newborn. They're just cute little kitties.
Oh, I know why. It moved me to January. What the hell?
So that's kind of fun when you do a live on iPhone. It picks up sound too, and I did not know that. So it was good times.
Interesting.
So was today not National Kitty Day? Was it the wrong day?
No. It is today. So the 9th, Dimples Day, National Sugar Cookie Day was yesterday. Today, Pina Colada, Kitty Day. Tomorrow is 7-Eleven Day. The 12th is Eat Jello Day.
Right.
I thought there was a.
Talking about Jello shots because of Jello Day.
Yeah. We got to do that as an episode, Jello shots. Anyway, so that's what it was. That's why it was. That's why it was. We were picking the Slurpee based on the fact that it was Slurpee Day, and I just can't find it on the calendar. My bad. So, anyway.
Well, 7-Eleven Day is Slurpee Day.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. But cherry's still my favorite. And I think it's because it's not as sweet.
Yeah.
Just like me, not very sweet.
Yep, I'll agree.
Uh,
Anyway,
that was my shout out for today. Was 7-Eleven. Who do you have shout outs for?
well, I mean, Adam down at Little Elm Liquors, who's become my new best friend. He keeps saying, "I want to watch your podcast," but half the time he's stuck at work on Mondays. So anyway, but he's been doing some good things. He's trying to hook us up with some good stuff that we should try. So I do have. Do you remember from Craig's Mastermind? There was a couple that come up with a drink called Nuke Waste a couple of years ago.
You had mentioned it. No, I don't remember that because I hadn't attended in a last.
This had to be 8 years ago. They come out with it.
Oh, okay. It's been a
They
while.
were down in, they were down on one of the islands.
Okay.
And it was something they mixed up in their bar, and then I'm making it. And they just announced on that he just got permission to ship to Texas.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that'll be a good thing. So I told him, and I said because he was, because he was from our mastermind as well. You know what I mean? Years ago, that his name was Mike Luby. We'd get it on the podcast when we got distribution in our areas.
Nice.
Anyway.
Very cool. Well, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. So shout outs, I guess we got out of hand. All right. We got out there. The people who helped us we do appreciate the ones who do. So.
Well, another shout out for me is Carly Photography here in Wilsonville. So I'm going to be on the cover of one of our local Wilsonville magazines in September. So she came in to do my photo shoot today. So I curled my hair. It's not as
curly hair. Check that out. I used to have mine curly too. I cut it all off.
Yes, I remember that. I remember when you had the long hair. I've known you since then.
Yeah, you know back then.
When you were not Tom Petty.
And when I was not Tom Petty, yeah.
And so she was just awesome. Came in, spent a half hour with me, taking pictures and just playing different. It's like going. She said she was having a. Kind of a, oh my goodness, Monday morning. And then she came in my office and she just walked in. She's like, it's all gone, so I gave her a bit of good energy. And so that was kind of fun today. So can't wait to see those, the pictures when she sends me the link to all of them. So that's kind of fun. So shout out to her for just, making part of my day. She was part of my morning. Go, do the thing.
Cool. So. All right. So we haven't discussed what we're going to do next week. So next week will be a fun episode. You have to tune in to find out what we're going to do.
That's right.
We're not announcing it ahead of time this time. No. So anyway, tell them a little bit about your business. This show is brought to you every week by both Gladys and I, and our businesses actually sponsor this podcast and make it possible for you. We have other sponsors, but we are the two main. So tell them about yours.
So I'm Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I help small business owners in Oregon, Washington, California with their employee benefits. There's 101 employee benefits for all budgets. So if you're wondering, hey, can I afford to provide benefits to my staff? Guess what? Let me know because I will guide you. And if I can't help you, I will find a broker in your area. Go to insurancedesignpros.com and check me out. We'll be in touch. And this is my co-host.
Hey, I'm Jim Gillette. I do website building, website hosting. It's that simple. That's why we call it Simple Easy Websites. Hold on, let me get my tag up. SimpleEasyWebsites.com. Go in there, all right, and get your website done. And actually, if you actually hired us, we'd have a website up for you by next week's episode. Did you know that? That's how fast we are.
And if you're not following him, if you're not following Tim's podcast, you must. Somebody is like, are you listening to Tim's podcast? He's live right now. And the feedback was, that was a lot of good information. So thought I'd share. That was
that my rant podcast?
I think it was Saturday. You were sharing the three things. Have a website. Ladies and gentlemen. Did I mention?
Yeah, that has become my new thing. You gotta have a website, you gotta build a list, and you gotta quit following the fancy hot to trot stuff. Yep. So which is why the thing on my Facebook this week said Wait, it's thread season? I haven't taken down my Chat GPT decorations yet.
That's what that meant. Okay. I was like,
Well, yeah, that and the one before it was the one that was really, some people got it. It said, so this week when your friend changes their expertise,
yes.
real experts have websites. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes, because that happens a lot when they're doing this week and that the other next week and then something else the next week.
Yeah. So this week there's 100 new threads experts. All right, and the really good ones are the threads experts who are going to teach you threads using ChatGPT, paying with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I got to make fun of them all.
Because that's part of the fun.
That's going to be my new routine: make fun of coaches.
You know, when they're constantly changing just because it's like, oh, I think I'll make money here. I'll think I'll make money there. That's all it is. And it's not about making money. It's who you're helping.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're helping the right people for the right reasons, the money will come.
Get in the business of helping people, and you'll find that more business will come your way than you can imagine. So
yeah, I told the boss that many years ago. It's like, he's all, you're not making money. And I said, I will. And 2 months later, it's like, oh, you're making money. I said, I told you.
Yeah.
It's like, if you are doing the right thing, you're helping the right people, the money will come. It's sometimes you have to, it's going to come. It's not this very second. You just have to wait for the process to go through. And once you get here, that's when it's.
Well, yeah. In your process with insurance, isn't your lead, your by the time your leads turn over, it's like a long cycle, isn't it?
It depends. With my individuals, if I enroll them today, they'll have coverage on the 1st. Okay. And then I'll get commission the following month. There's always a delayed commission because it's per person per month, $12 to $14, maybe 20, depending on the, certain XYZs. My larger clients, my group clients, some of them, it takes a year before I onboard them. Others, it takes 3 months, 4 months. Yeah. Others, it takes 2 months. So anywhere between 2 to 6 months is normal for groups to come live.
Like I can meet somebody though in ours, I can meet somebody and have a customer and have money in my pocket by next Saturday.
Yep.
It's just the way the process works. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
different businesses. Yeah.
If I meet somebody today, I'll get paid in September.
Yeah. So
that's okay.
That's why you got to hustle. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up for this week. We will see you guys back here next week. Have a great week, everybody.